Hello, welcome back to Cut the Nonsense, episode number 2. We are hopefully making progress. Thank you to everybody who watched episode number 1. I am going to be joined, as always, by Mike and Joe, who are really the nonsense in this. Looking forward today to talking about SGC. Are they going under? They've made some moves. Hockey playoffs versus baseball playoffs. Which one do you prefer? And we're going to hit some more nonsense with talking trash at backyard football. So let me bring in Mike and Joe, and we'll get started.
He almost smiled, that intro. We've got to re-examine this. It's never good when we come on, it's Danny just like trying to force a smile and Joe wrestling with his own lips.
Thank you. Before we even get started, I have a couple items I want to fact check, and you know this is serious because I did write it down.
Miss Bliss?
And
wow.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, and I did it with
insult.
a couple of things. I use either color pencil or a Crayola marker.
The ones you didn't eat? Good.
Those are the ones that fit my hand nicely. Number one, I acknowledge it's Good Morning, Miss Bliss, not Wake Up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number two, Gretzky. I said a stint in Arizona, so give me some grace. I know he was a manager / he also owned. He didn't play. Mike was the one who said Esposito was the
By the way,
greatest
mine was a
goal-
play on words. I know Phil Esposito, one of the greatest American goal scorers. I know he's a Canadian. Dummies in the comments. Come
You're
on.
going to be fact-checked hard. And then the other thing was the 60 or the 40 to 60%. Like, listen, I do wear my feelings on my sleeve. I get it 100%. But I'm not buying a $10,000 card at 40%. That's where I'm starting with an entire collection. And when we're looking at collections, we're looking at singles that are 80s and 90s, and they might sprinkle in something tasty. But the other thing is, you don't have to sell them to me. I have them constantly coming in, and I've got overhead. I've got to pay the lights and all that kind of stuff. But then also, we're not marking them up 300%, because if I bought a $100 card at $50, I'm not going to put it at $300.
You're putting it at 125 though.
No, I'm gonna put it back up at the 100. At the $100, I'm gonna put it at what it comps at.
What's the deal with the lighting, by the way? You look like Casper.
Well, thank you. He was a friendly ghost. The problem is, Danny and I were on this earlier. I have a house that faces east and west in Arizona, which is terrible planning because the sunsets. No, they are drawn. That's how powerful the sun is coming through on the east.
That's not a light. That's just sunlight hitting the right side of your face.
That is sunlight going through closed blinds. 100%.
Okay. You're closer to your microphone this week, so that's good.
That's what you get for living in the desert, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I thought the black shirt and the closer microphone would take away from the double chin. This is, we're looking at 9 days of facial hair growth here. So,
dude, you even grow hair like Jesse. Your lack of hair growth is the same as Jesse's as well. This is uncanny, the characteristics of you two perverts.
Well,
wait. I was going to call both of you out. Neither one of you could grow a beard within a week.
No, not within a week. I had a nice beard, though. I shaved. I don't like to sweat, and I was sick of getting out of the pool and dripping water an hour later from my facial hair. I shaved it. Clean start for the show.
You don't like to sweat? How do you know
you're
working hard?
Beating up on my face. Anyways. So Danny had topics.
Well, I was about to say, Joe's, when he's all pale, looks like the side of a milk carton. Have you seen this baby?
That is true. Large 11-year-old running around the desert.
You definitely would not know that I do spend time outside coaching football with this complexion, but
you do.
It's the real deal.
All right. Excellent.
Dude, talk to me right now.
Ernie, get a hold of this.
We're bringing it back on course. SGC, stop taking discounted bulk submissions. To me, huge sign of trouble. They were bought by collectors. I think they're going under. I think this is the beginning of the end. Want to get your guys' opinions.
Going under how? I heard you say this. What does that mean? Like, where do you think they're going?
I think that PSA is going to absorb them.
And then get sold to GameStop?
I don't believe in the GameStop sale.
I am curious. I've heard from a couple of people they thought there was some truth to that rumor of the GameStop. So the rumor last week was GameStop is buying collectors, which I think is terrible. I don't need more corporatized, just nerds. I like the nerds, but I want our nerd. I don't need gamer losers doing cards. I just like us traditional nerds dealing with our cards. And I don't need like this card shop uniformity where everything's a GameStop and that's where you're getting wax. Like I like to go into card shops because they're different. Like I don't know, I like the experience of going and dealing with a card shop. So I hope none of that happens.
So my question is, I heard a while back, and please debunk this, when PSA sort of took over SGC, were they really doing crossovers? Like, were they crossing them over exactly at what it was SGC?
It was never advertised that way, but it seemed like a pretty common trend for the first time ever. Like, hey, they're being consistent with the grades.
Oh, I didn't know they were keeping the same grade. I thought that they were regrading it.
Well,
Maybe I was wrong on that.
regrading, but it was almost like a little unspoken rule. Like if you're subbing a 10, that was the time to do it. Before, you had a very little chance.
Okay.
Well, I mean, do you guys think SGC has any legs?
Dude, and SGC is a huge sponsor of SCN. Like
And
that's
I
the
love
thing.
them.
I love it, but I will tell you, the speed has always been the asset for them. Like you have to have quick return times, and maybe this is a momentary lapse, and they're going to be back. But if, by the way, I bought a new dresser for the show. I bought
That's
that for you
incredible.
people. I have Celsius. We have some swag over here. Celsius Diet Cokes.
And he's pumping Trevor Lawrence. Here we go.
Oh, I love Trevor
Here we
Lawrence.
go.
I
Here
couldn't
we
give
go.
that thing away. Randy Moss, straight cash homie, stole that helmet from a kid. Not a big deal. If you're not getting your cards back super fast, though, the incentive to use SGC really takes a hit. Like pricing, I don't care about a couple dollars. And now pricing's about the same, anyways. Man, you got to be first. So I'm hoping we've seen this be a momentary thing with them before. I hope that's the case. I have an order coming back today. Actually, I just got the tracking before you guys came. The update. It was received by them on May 10th. So like 20,
Wow.
25, 28 business days maybe. I got to sit down and do the math. I have my Casio here.
What do you have in there? What were you grading?
So there's a bunch of vintage.
Okay.
Bunch of my Brady Planets for the PC out of Cosmic Football. There was some newer stuff. I have to go back and look what the actual stuff, because a lot of times we offer like, hey, you buy enough in a break, we'll give you some free grades with SGC of new product, and hey, you'll get it for free, you'll get it back quick, we'll sell it. Obviously, that didn't work out. So,
Well, on the pod, I know that you guys have also said before, like, hey, if you do send it off for like new products like Bowman, like they're going to do the 5-day turnaround, that kind of stuff. So I didn't know if it was anything that was a new product that you might have broken. That I just didn't know, because that's kind of a big incentive too. Like if they break on the SCN breaks and you're able to submit that on their behalf, and again, first to market is absolutely huge. And for baseball, it's a kind of what have you done for me lately?
yeah, so
Obviously.
thankfully nothing new in here. And the only bright side, some of this, because like traditionally this could have been back like 20 or 30 days ago. There's a couple nice Cam Smith cards who was popped off recently, Jack Caglione, and there's a really nice orange auto of Pete Crow Armstrong. So maybe SGC delaying is the greatest thing that could have happened here. I take it back.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, especially Pete Crow with the All-Star break right around the
Dude,
corner.
he's killing it.
Dude, and he's batting cleanup. He's batting cleanup.
MVPCA.
Okay, Danny, just stick to the Muhammad Ali poster. Not MVP yet. Come on.
The greatest.
Muhammad
The
Ali,
greatest.
by the way. No, I mistakenly called.
Yeah.
By the way, I had to find the one person who smiles less in the picture to make.
Isn't he dead?
Well, he is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe they buried him with a smile. We don't know.
That's an excellent point.
Mike.
What?
I was just saying, Mike. Yeah.
Oh,
Mike.
okay.
Dude,
Was that too far? Did that make you uncomfortable, Joe? I want to know.
What did
your
I
line.
say? He's dead.
no.
I watched the
Maybe
Kobe
you did.
documentary this morning. I'm good.
Did you really get up and just watch the Kobe
I
documentary?
walked into my father's house. He was watching the thing on the investigation of the helicopter crash. Yep.
Ooh.
I made the joke over there. He was like, yeah, it's crazy. This guy's like a trained pilot. He just kept, my dad was going on. I was like, maybe he was a Celtics fan. My dad looked at me, gave me the disapproved look like when I was a child, and just went right back to the television. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Thanks, Papa.
Baseball playoffs, hockey playoffs. Somebody put this on the list of topics. It's not a topic. Are you taking hockey playoffs, I assume, Joe?
No, I'm not. I think those are two of the most intense playoff atmospheres that you can deal with in professional sports. I mean, yes, baseball, you're hanging on every pitch, every single inning. Hockey is just insane because it's because of the nonstop, like no breaks. And at any point, I mean, that puck can just trickle through a goalie's legs. Like literally, I believe it was Thursday or Friday night, Florida Panthers, they go up 3-0 in the first period. And you're like, dude, this is going to be insane. Because the previous game, I think they won 6-1. So they go up 3-0. The second period, Edmonton scores 3 straight goals. So now it's tied. Edmonton takes the lead in the third period. And then Florida, as their fans are walking out with like 2-3 seconds left, they score the tying goal to go to overtime. Edmonton ultimately they won in overtime, but like, dude, like you can't flip a channel like in between innings. You can, I don't know. Hockey's great. So's playoff baseball. I
Best
just wanted to
live
bring
event
that
show.
up.
Best live playoff event's got to be hockey though, like actual at the game.
My first actual hockey game was round 2 Stanley Cup playoffs in 2002, Avalanche versus the Red Wings.
Was
And
that
we had
Ray Bork?
He was on the Avalanche team. We were there for the cheering for the Wings. But if you've ever been to a event when they run out of tickets to sell, like we were in standing room only, so it was in between the lower and upper level, and you had to stand. They just did a chalk outline. You had to stand in a box with your back against the wall. It was the wildest event.
What a treat!
Was the chalk outline Muhammad Ali?
He was alive in
No.
02. Yeah, 02. He was still with us.
Well, yeah, but we're a. Why am I forgetting the fist in Detroit? I'm sorry. Everyone's going to ridicule me here.
I'm not
Frazier?
Oh yeah, the Joe Frazier, Joe Lewis.
Yeah, Joe Lewis. Excuse me. The arena, Joe Lewis. That's where I was at. Gosh, sorry.
You're a loser.
I'm
Sorry.
an idiot. Mike, what do you think? Playoff baseball?
Yeah.
I think baseball's boring to watch, man. The older I've gotten, the less I watch it.
Oh,
It's tough to watch, man. I don't know. I could very easily just watch highlights of almost any playoff game. Just highlights, I'm fine with. I can get into some hockey though. I watched Edmonton the other night. I don't know anybody on those teams except for McDavid and my boy Brad Marchand put up 2 goals. Old Bruins.
Wait a second. You're terrible. Like baseball, they've
I'm a
only
horrible
done things.
sports fan. I'm a horrible sports fan.
To improve it and make it faster and more engaging.
Okay, it's boring to me. I am. I'm a horrible, but I admit this fully. I am a horrible sports fan. I grew up a Sox guy. In 04, we finally get over the hump. We go on this crazy run where they're winning World Series every couple of years. Now there's no more rivalry with the Yankees. There's no more curse of the Bambino. There's nothing, and it's still a boring game. I watch very sparsely. I have no use for the Bruins. I don't watch any hockey until it comes to the playoffs. I'll watch a random hockey game. Football, Brady retired, so did I. I'll watch any football game. I have no more rooting interest, although I'd like to think Drake May is going to be good. And the Celtics. The Celtics are the one team I still actively follow. That is it. And I'm going to start to follow the Pats again this year, maybe.
what do you think of the Devers trade?
I mean, they're one game above 500. I don't know why they dumped him. Kyle Harrison could be a good pitcher. Maybe it works out. Jordan Hicks, fine.
Tibbs.
They got James Tibbs, who I like. Like their farm system is deep, but traditionally they're terrible with farm team. Like their prospects almost never pan out. Although hopefully this year, Roman Anthony, Marcelo, those guys. The only good thing for the hobby is San Francisco's got one of the best records in the NL right now. They're a game behind the Dodgers. Devers has not had hobby love in years in Boston. So maybe he goes over there and they compete and people actually pay attention. I mean, I don't know who their big bat is. Admittedly, I don't follow the San Francisco
That's their problem.
Giants.
They don't have a big bat.
So he could be. He could be your
some
bat.
of the lowest runs scored in all of baseball.
But they're still winning like that at that clip.
Yeah.
So maybe he's the missing piece and he becomes a savior and great. You know, he was raking. I guess I always have a problem with this too. Whenever there's a trade and it's like, oh, it wasn't even on the market. Trade just came through, like the Luka trade. But you could have gotten more if you just advertised you were trading Luka. You could have gotten, he's nowhere near that level, but you could have gotten more if you advertised, hey, we're shopping Chubby Devers. I don't know. I didn't understand it, but.
Well, to your point earlier, that's a first to market thing too. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, out here in the desert, we have the best team in baseball, the Diamondbacks, next to my Tigers, but they have zero pitching. Like, this could be a year where everyone's like pitching and defense. Like, this could be a year where an offense could literally win a championship because they're never out of it. They just continue to hit. And we probably have the most underrated player in all of baseball, Corbin Carroll. Dude, he's unreal.
That's true. Just hit his 20th again, I saw.
He's unreal.
By the way, you see who is pitching tonight, also in the desert?
Shohei.
Dude, I don't know what the desert has to do with that. That was my connection. That'd be crazy.
I
I'll
think
tell
he's
you
in
what.
San Diego.
Yeah, what else is he supposed to do aside from pitch now? Because he's already, like, offensively, aside from Judge, the most potent guy in the game. If that dude comes out and strikes out like 9 and 7 innings, that's like the only. Because again, I always wonder with him, what else can he do aside from just keep racking up MVPs and championships? He's a freak. It's pretty amazing.
His cards will go up by the end of the inning.
Oh yeah, because this will be the new hype with him. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll start hearing the Ruth talk again. Yeah, that's fine.
Was it Shohei or was it Ippei?
Oh,
Was it what?
Was it Shohei or was it Ippei?
the translator.
Oh, well, that's okay. He's a nice guy. Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, would you notice $20 million out of your bank account?
How dare you?
me or Mike? I would not.
Mike, because Mike's a millionaire. Dude, he is so rich. He has Diet Coke in a showcase behind him. It's unreal. Guy doesn't even put it in a freezer or a cooler.
I like room temperature. Speaking of room temperature, here's my show. I'm bringing my show and tell piece. 1920. This is what they used to deliver cheese in. I got that from my grandfather when he died. You know what it holds? The worst sports card investment of all time for me. 2007 Topps White Border PSA 9 Kevin Durant's. Spent $40,000 on them. Bought about 95 at the same time. Flipped a few, but was convinced they were going to $400. They currently are worth about $30 a piece. Cheese box. That cheese box probably worth a couple $100 though.
actually on
White American, Dan, in case you're wondering. The cheese. White American cheese. From New York City, Franklin Street. That's Americana, buddy.
it was probably a good deli.
Could've
Good Jewish deli in New York, I'm sure.
I'd like to know what my grandfather's doing with a New York deli in Boston. What's he doing up there, pervert? 5 pounds of cheese. Anyways.
There was a great article somebody just wrote on Kevin Durant cards on collecting on SI.
Ooh.
Tie that together. Yeah, there we
Whoa.
go. On fire.
I'm not going to lie. It took me a couple seconds there to make sure that was spelled right. That's not a word I often spell correctly. Collecting. The other one I can get all right.
Yeah,
Pretty good collectibles. Okay.
It's a decent
there we
platform.
go.
Good
So-
articles in there.
Kevin Durant's cards, they go back up when he signs.
I mean, if he wins.
Not even if he wins. Like, what? First of all,
If he goes on a playoff run, they'll go up.
stop,
He's a trash bag, by the way. I hate him. But yeah, he will.
dude. His 3 options. I think he said were Miami, Houston, and San Antonio. And
Yeah, if you go to any of those teams, how do they not compete? Miami, maybe not so much. But San Antonio?
who does Miami give up for Durant?
I'm with you. So I'm with you. So Miami.
Bam.
Miami off the board because you have to give up way too much. They don't have enough anyways. But San Antonio, like as long as you're keeping Wemby, Vassell or Castle, one of the two, De'Aaron Fox.
Oh,
Add KD to that mix.
it would be Vassell. It would be Vassell. I bet Sochin and maybe
Chris
a couple of.
And a
No,
pick.
he's not coming back. A couple of picks, but for
Okay.
Houston, Houston's interesting to me because I would love for them to get Alprin Sengun.
Sengun.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
But it would have to be like Sengun. You're not trading Jalen. You're probably not trading Thompson. So Sengun and 2 or 3 of the other young guys and some
Whitmore?
first rounders. Fine. But that's what I'm saying. How does that team not compete? And if that team competes, he is by far the top dog there. I hate Durant, but I do think on that team he probably makes some waves.
And I think the prices go up. I think if he signs and plays with Wemby, how does that not drive his prices through the roof? He'll be on national TV.
I want Giannis there.
Week.
I want Giannis to go to San Antonio.
Giannis is going nowhere.
You don't think he's leaving?
No, I don't think
That's too
anyone's
bad.
willing to give up what it's going to take, and I think Milwaukee's going to have to, like, they're going to ask a king's ransom for it, and it's not going to happen.
Man, San Antonio could put together a package. They got some great draft picks too.
I was about to say they have a ton of picks.
Don't they have the 2 and the 9 this year? 2 and the 15, 2 and the 13?
But it's going to have to be centered around Castle. And do you give him up?
Yeah, I like Castle. Yes, you give him up for Giannis. I don't understand why people are so. I would give up him, the number, whatever they're. I would give up him, the number 2, and then an expiring contract or 2. Absolutely. If you field a team with Giannis, Wemby, Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, that team competes overnight. Absolutely.
And if Desmond Bain was 4 number 1s, if San Antonio has to
Well,
pay it, they pay it.
But that Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. This is another just headline that has been interpreted wrong. They also dumped Caldwell Pope's contract. He's making 45 over the next 2 years. They unloaded that. They got a pick swap back. It was 4 first rounders, but not really. And a couple were protected. But yes,
No.
they gave up a lot.
They were unprotected, I thought.
The fourth of the 4, I believe, is protected. And again, you've got a swap or 2 in there, and you unloaded that contract. Great. You don't need the draft picks if you have a ton of money to sign a free agent. And I love that because I think Banchero is the guy if you put people around him. And Bane's awesome. Like, Bane's one of the few guys. We watch quite a bit of Memphis ball here. That dude can score. He's a pretty good two-way player. He's an elite shooter, and he's a decent overall. So, like, he gets to the rack. He averages 20. That's a perfect weapon for them.
But what you're doing now is you're all in on Suggs bringing that ball up, and he hasn't shown that he's been able to stay healthy consistently. But Cole Anthony, I think going to Memphis I think that's an underrated piece of that trade too. I think he's a player too, and he's going to take a little bit off of Ja's hands where he doesn't have to bring the ball up as much, and Ja can really just attack the rim more and more from kind of a wing position.
And Cole Anthony had a better year last year than people realize.
He's super streaky too. When he's on, he can score 25. When he's off, he'll shoot and miss 25. But yeah, I just think it's good.
His hobby love at all?
No, he's gonna go. He was a number 3 there. He's gonna be a 3 or 4 in Memphis. You know.
I think his prices could still go up though.
Well, who are you buying? What are you rolling those cute chubby eyes of yours for?
Well,
Ja, Triple J. At best, he's a number 3 out there. At best.
Possibly.
The sun's getting to him. Look at he's tanning as we speak.
I know. I feel like I'm getting lighter as we speak, which is insane. I don't
color or
understand
weight?
what is happening.
Oh, your color.
How dare you?
That's a compliment. You look great.
Thank you.
All right.
So does Bane go up?
Maybe, but again, is he a 2 or 3? You still got Wagner there. Like, Wagner scores in bunches too.
Dude, and his hobby stuff is crazy streaky. Like sometimes it just through the roof. Like even the other thing I'm gonna tell you with him being a Michigan alumni, dude, and this is not a pump or anything like that, but if you go back and you look historically on like some of those Bowman U cards, Bowman's Best U, Michigan players who get then drafted, go back and look at their college cards. Crazy money. Like normally like the big stars are about $30, $40. Like they're still getting close to $100 on a college card. Michigan fans love their athletes and they love buying it in the maize and blue, which is disgusting because I'm an Ohio State fan. But.
How does Banchero do for you guys?
In terms of like interest selling?
Yeah.
Again, he missed a bunch of time early last year, but he was one of those guys coming into the season. It was like, let's see if he takes that jump. If he's healthy next year, I think he's a top 10 player in the league. Like he is that good. The team already was they were the play-in round, weren't they? Because the Celtics knocked them out. I think they came in as a 7. Yeah, again, you get him a little bit of help. Individually, though, he's awesome. He plays defense. He actually has a mid-range game, which you don't see much of. The hobby, he's still new enough, but we haven't totally forgotten him yet. I think he has. I think there's huge room to improve there if they win.
I think he's the biggest upside in the trade if you have to pick a card or a player to invest in.
Yep. Excellent pick there.
Joe, you do card shows and setup? No, I only do 1 or 2 a year. Another hot take by me. I hate card show from the bending perspective. From the bending perspective, dude, I can't stand it. And I've picked up tips and tricks from some of the old heads within it, and the guys who've done it forever. Like Greenie will tell me a long weekend show. Make sure you have a loaf of bread and peanut butter and jelly, and a case of waters. Like,
well, that's just good advice. Yeah,
that's incredible advice. But like, dude, the setup and I don't know. I'm one of those people too. Like, dude, I like to set it up. Like, I understand that you're there to sell things and to show your collection and that kind of stuff. But then I get like people again. I already know you guys. When you're fingering the cards and doing all that kind of stuff, can you pull that out of the case? Like, it's graded a 9 or a 10, and I know the 9s you're looking at it to see if it's crackable and put that out. But like, just the whole I don't know. And then you're held hostage there. You're held hostage
You're
at a
cranky.
show.
I like this. I never. You're also the guy at the urinal at the card show. It's just like a bunch of everybody's just in there taking a leak, and Joe was just like, "You believe that guy's came over my table?" No matter who comes to the urinal next to him, because you know Joe's a middle urinal guy. No matter what,
100%.
he's just talking on both sides. His story just keeps going, no matter who's at the urinal next to him. He's like, "Yeah," and then the guy looking at the corner. What does he think? It's going to grade a 10? You know, I'm in here trying to just drip dry, and that guy's out here just looking at Bankero cards. I mean, I just give me the money. I'll give you $40 on the 100. Just give me that card. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the whole room is cleared out, and there's just security at the door with a big sign, "No kids."
Yeah, Gio, I'm at the middle stall, but I'm the guy who's talking at the ceiling.
That's what I mean. You're just in there, just lamenting at the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah, like what? Can you believe the guy came over and the guy just had popcorn at the vending? Dude,
I love it. I like nothing more than being a vendor. I was at a card show Saturday. Brought the old man with me. It was awesome. Had a great time.
What's the trick for setting up for a show?
I'll be honest though, I set up in general to buy. My entire reason is setting up at a show so I can buy a bunch of stuff. You don't bring too much. You don't expect too much. I don't bring that many things. I bring a few cards to draw people. My whole thing though is if you set up to buy, in general, you can buy a ton of stuff. I will say though, the card show I was at this weekend, about 125 tables, maybe 20, and this is a long-standing show, maybe 20 were sports. It was Pokemon. And it was the most insane. You could tell the row that was sports cards because it was empty. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Really?
Oh, dude. And the signage, like like a bunch of guys had those cases that have the prices on it. And you can just like tap the buttons. They had flashing lights, flying lizards and wizards and all this other crap. Yeah, the Pokemon stuff is absolutely insane. As I showed up, a buddy of mine, PJ, who's same thing, veteran card show guy, he's a breaker. He was literally just loading up his trunk with nothing but Pokemon on a whole carriage full of crap that he had just bought.
What case are you talking about that you can just tap it and it gives
I have no
the
idea.
price?
But literally it had like pricing on like some of the, like digitally displayed the pricing. It was pretty cool.
That's insane.
If I find out who it is, I'll charge him. We'll talk about him on the show.
Oh,
still looking
100%.
for our first sponsor, by the way, folks. We're doing this for free. Some would argue that's still too much money. I would argue I have to pay for diapers. So
I mean, after a record-breaking first episode, don't want to brag.
yeah, we do have to I will briefly address that. We have never made much of a push on YouTube. We don't care. I hate to be on camera. We don't. But it was interesting to see the response when we actually put out some live content and with a professional producer.
Can we get back to the card show thing?
Yeah.
Real quick? Here's a question for you, too, is if you're going,
freaking guy.
Mr. Bean, if you are going to the show as a buyer.
As I did, yes.
Okay, not as a setup guy.
I went in with a backpack and my dad had an envelope of money. Yep.
Okay. Here's the real question.
Legal money, by the way, this time for Gio. Different.
Excellent.
Yep.
If we are if we're going to buy, number one, and we're not like we're more of a collector, we like to flip here and there. What is a safe amount of money to go to like a 1-day show or even a 2-day show? And I know that's a crazy question because you might find something that you really like, but like, what's a safe amount to go with nowadays?
I mean, everything's bigger than it used to be, right? So like we were there for literally an hour or two, very little sports, but I found my one guy I've known for years, and we're starting to build out for eBay like a repack for ourselves that we're going to start breaking over there. And so our thinking is, hey, we want stuff for every single team. And so actually, I have the whole stack here. Well, I swiped that card, but like I bought 12 cards, $1,800 at one table. Guy was, I think I paid 16. I think it was 1,800. But like, had I had more time, I mean, again, it depends. If you like, let's just say cash is not a number. What could you go there and buy that you know you can flip? I think the number is unbelievable, especially early. You got to get there before the repack, because the repacker buyers is a real thing. Like, dude, of the 20 vendors, at least 5 of them are like, yeah, it's crazy. Cleaned out 2 or 3 showcases, and they even told me, like, no, they just make a stack. They comp 2 or 3 cards as long as it's close. Give them a number, done. Like, they're not. I mean, that's why it's tough for a guy like me, because I'm not going to mark my repack up 30%, so I have to buy below comps. But I also understand why the repack thing is great for the vendor. If you get a guy that's going to pay 100% or 98% and not comp, sell everything to him. But I thought that was an overblown thing until just recently, and now I have actually seen like, oh, this is a really good vendor and you only have, this is all you've got left. Yeah, because I've been kind of cleaned out. So it is becoming a thing.
That's 100% accurate, because the two shows that we do at our shop here are, one is during spring training and the other one's in November. The repackers come through on day one or day two.
Yep.
Pretty much day one, and then before general public's open on day two. And they literally will go down, they'll look at the cards, they'll pull out everything that they want. They'll do 75 to 80%, and we're happy with that, which then goes back to why we buy at the margins of 40 to 60%.
Oh, that's good though, by the way. You're saying they're paying 80%?
Yeah, 80% of our sticker on there, which is the comp. They're paying 80% of comp.
Yeah, over here it's higher. Like literally, they're just going, like I said, I saw a guy do it the other day, stack of probably 40 to 50 slabs. It was probably $8,000 to $10,000. Literally, I saw him thumb through so he could just comp a few randomly. He's like, yep, pretty close. Okay, it's $8,500, $8,000, like 95%, and didn't even care because they're just marking them up.
That's insane. And they're coming in, which is crazy. I mean, again, 5th largest city in the United States. They're coming in from the airport with empty carry-on bags.
Yep.
And they're just loading this stuff up, and they're there for a day, maybe 24 hours, and they're out. Like, they're just hitting the shows and leaving. And just to see them, how the whole process works, like they're calling through to whoever's funding the whole thing. Yep. But it's wild. And some of the guys are shrewd, but to your point, like it's just
a numbers game. Whatever we paid, Mark. But that's the other thing too. That's the problem I have, is because the pushback with repacks is, well, if you're going to repack, not a regular break, hey, everybody's going to get a card, because most repackers will do where everybody gets something. But yeah, you're going to get $100 card is going to get put in for $130. Have to have a margin, and they pay too close to the comp. I just sent that dummy out to Phoenix, so I had to pay for his travel, food per diem, whatever. You're paying these guys. They got to say no. So now it's like, yeah, everybody's getting something, but man, $100 card is being represented in this product at $145. It starts to take away the value. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to do it by runs, though. 10 cases at a time. Every team will be represented, and then the kind of niche thing we're trying to do is add wax to it, as opposed to a full case break where we're adding 2 of our nitro boxes. It's like, hey, here's a 10-box run in a case, 3 cards a box, 30 cards. Every team will get 1 card, and then let's add a couple boxes of sapphire or a flawless briefcase or something and sell it as a PYT that way. But sell the whole run at once. That way, every single card that's represented will come out that night on the break. So we're going to try it. I mean, there's just too much money, and you can control that. Like if it tops at some point was like, hey, we're not dealing with you. Okay, we pivot and just start doing this maybe. So, but we did. We talked to our guy. We're having like professional packaging made up, cases and all that crap. So we're going to give it a shot. I think there's a lot that could be improved there. So even if it's a little bit of a small margin those guys are making, why not?
And you had mentioned that you're going to start doing individual card sales on eBay.
So no, we're going to we will do individual sales as well, but just the full on eBay Live. Okay. But no, the full repack. Like, hey, and so again, that's the other thing too, having things be random. If I know, let's say we're doing 5 cases, on average, the Pirates are going to be $200 because in one case there's a $600 Paul Skeens card, but in the other case there's only a $75 Henry Davis. How do you do it where it's fair? Well, you sell them all out at once. Everything then goes on camera, and you run the random of, okay, PYT is going to be this random case. PYT2 is this one. That way it's all random. I also like the idea of throwing in wax with it and building into the price because, hey, maybe in case 3, the Angels had a $75 Ohtani, but you paid $250 because on average over the course of the 5 cases, the Angels are worth $250. Yeah, but if you pull Trout's a bad example. Like if you pull a pool host out of the flawless case, though, the wax that we put in, you have a shot there. So the theory being no skunks, everybody gets something, better value than most repacks. Maybe that's kind of the key for us. So we'll see. And everything goes at one time, by the way. I hate this thing of like, hey, here's this huge chaser. Oh, amazing. We went through 99 cases. It came out in the 100th. Not really that amazing. You put in the last case. So anyways, that's our thought. Boom, roasted.
Joe, you look like you're biting your tongue off.
No, I mean, I don't know. I love the repack stuff. I've always loved it. I actually loved it when Southern Hobby did their own repack, like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, the packs, right? They had the outside. Yeah. Oh, I
Dude,
remember that.
yeah, the packs were on the outside of the cards. Like
Yep.
those were great. I can't even think of what it was called, but Southern did it. They had Bible verses on the back of on the actual back of the packaging.
Really?
Yeah, fun fact.
Thank you.
Dude, it was a crazy good product.
Anything from the Torah in there for Danny or no?
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
Not that I remember. But
Okay.
that's not to say that it wasn't represented.
Sure.
Just can't remember. But that was a incredible repack product. And in the shop, all the leftovers, like I try to buy slabs, like junky base card slabs, like $2. We make a $10 mystery pack that has a slab, an auto, a relic, and some rookie cards. And it's really for the kids, right? So, because everyone just wants a slabbed card. But what we're finding now is we're going through 30, 40 of them a week because breakers are coming in and they're buying them as like skunk prizes for their breaks.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, and it's hard to keep up. And they're like, dude, this is so easy because there's the floor, like, and that's my other thing. My other rant is I get as an investor and a collector, you want to know a ceiling and a floor. I don't care about that when I'm making a $10 mystery bag. All I care about is there's nothing lower than $10 in the entire bag.
Sure.
So what we did, because we do get some other stuff that's kind of okay. We made a $25 mystery bag, another tier of it, and we can't even keep those in stock. And dude, the breakers online, to your point, that just it's the whole mystery of it, the gamble of what you're going to get, and for someone who did spend $75 on the Dodgers, dude, I'm sorry you didn't hit anything, but let's see if you can grab something out of here. Like,
yep. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that because I think the other model is we're going to sell the PYTs. The other thing we're going to do, which I used to do back in the day, is just, hey, we're going to sell 25 spots. There's 25 boxes, one card each. We're going to go through. Everybody buys it. We then run everything stays on screen. We then run the random on screen. Joe, if you get card number 1, you get box number 1. One of those cards, let's say it's $250. Well, there's going to be $2,000 cards in those 25 boxes. There's going to be a couple $400 cards. And yes, there'll be some $50 or $60 cards. But everybody gets something. It's more just like the hit draft almost. Although no hit draft. I guess it's just a random drawing. But I think there's probably room for both. Those are the ones where I think you have to be specific, though, of, hey, you're only getting one card. There's no chance. So the floor is $50. The ceiling's $1,000. Here's how many in each level. And honestly, we used to just post a picture of, hey, these are the 25 cards. So, yeah, I'm interested. I'm curious to see how it goes. We'll see.
Do you guys take in a lot of other hobby content to help you with these ideas for business, or take in hobby content just for the hobby in general?
Both. Like, honestly, when I tell you guys that I coach sport, like I've got a coaching mentality. Like I'm gonna take in as much as I can so that I can be the best at my profession, no matter what I do. Like so that I can speak on shows like this, so that I can speak to people in the shop. I'm just, dude, I'm all about educating. If I could pass that on, so I'm constantly in my reels and all my social media know that about me because that's what gets presented to me constantly too. So.
Yeah, a little bit. You know me. I'm in general. I'm just super critical of everything, so I have trouble watching most stuff. I try.
Mike, who's your favorite content creator?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
Do you know? I'm not trying to be cute. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, Sports Card Radio I always thought was the most entertaining by far, so I'd watch them.
Okay.
Actually, I will say, I'm going on a show next week. The Professor Sports Cards, I actually think takes kind of a different take on it, which I like. The clever Cuban kid, Alex, he does like just a short informational, but he's pretty realistic. Like, hey, I lost money this month. He actually documents it. Or, hey, I made this much. He's one of the only people I know that actually discusses his like true finances. And it's true because he will actually announce when, hey, no, we lost money this month. I never hear anybody do that. Everybody else just throwing stacks of cash at a card show like a moron. I watch those guys. I'm trying to think. Like, there's not much though. I don't really watch a lot.
I'll throw a shout out to Chris Sewell and Mike Junkwax Hero. To Gio's point, they both talk, I think, really honestly about what they do and their collections. Chris will break down even buying a big collection down to comps and markup and everything else. So those would be my two guys.
What a perfect spot! Isn't Chris going to be a sponsor here soon? Are we breaking out that checkbook, Chris?
We'll throw this at him. We'll
call him right now. Call Chris right now. Haley, call Chris.
Please.
We'll play it on Wednesday.
I do like Chris. Yeah, Chris does the same thing, but in long form of what Alex does. Hey, I bought XYZ. I made money on these. I lost money here. Yeah, that's true. He's a little bit. I'd like to see a Chris and Danny show. Just see who can outsmile the other person. 3 smiles would win the competition, by the way.
When we go to lunch, it's like a staring contest.
Dude, you two sit down. You know that waitress is just like looking for a chance. She's like, "Oh, great tip coming from these two. They haven't even smiled at each other. Can I take your order? Yes." And then she just stands there.
Oh, do you want restaurants? Can I just tell you? So Father's Day yesterday, right? So we always draw the short straw, right, of having to pick up the bill. But my family chooses that they're like, hey, we want to go to a teppanyaki place where they cook at the table and all that kind of stuff. I was like, great.
What is it called?
Teppanyaki.
Is that different than hibachi?
He just got a Costco, Joe.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think it's the same. Okay. Right? Hibachi is teppanyaki, I believe. Japanese. So we get the menu, and I know already, because this place I've gone to, the hostess has claimed that she knows me. So on a birthday, like, she's like, oh, you're back, sweet, like in front of my wife, like, sweetie, oh, and like they come out and they bang the drum. I was like, I really don't know her. I don't. And so we come out. They give us the
new YouTube show, Joe. Loved it last week. I don't know this woman.
I know.
Love it, teppanyaki.
So I'm sitting there, and she comes over, and it says lunch every day until 3 p.m. Okay. Hey, I was just wondering if you guys had the lunch menu. It doesn't apply today. So, well, what do you mean? And she goes, it doesn't apply for special days like Father's Day. I said, but on the menu it says every day. And she was like, yeah, it doesn't apply. And like,
why are you saying every day weird? Are you doing that on purpose? Every day? Is that how you just normally say it, or are you trying to emphasize it? Okay, I didn't know if you were trying to. Sorry.
No, I mean, like, when I'm getting frustrated and I'm trying to show, like, I'm like, it says every day, like on there. And I'm getting just the leg pinch from my wife, like underneath, like, you need to stop this. Like, they're cooking with an open flame right by our faces. Like, and then my 5-year-old's like, hey, I just want to go to the place where they give you the free soup at the beginning. And he's like, I want broccoli cheese. And I was like, it's miso. Those are 2 drastically different soups. And so you were right on. I mean, it's great with a family of 7 because they always include the gratuity. And I'm like, you would have gotten more. And more times than not, they lose out when they do that.
Oh, they add the 18% or something?
Yep.
I'll take this another moment to brag. Notoriously great tipper. So just want to put that up there.
Rich.
Yeah.
My grandparents, may they rest in peace. I used to have to go to the restaurant before dinner to tip the server and apologize for their behavior. So it was a different generation, but
it was expected.
All right, we got one more topic here before we.
And then I have to end with my PC. I have a quick PC.
Yes,
I'm gonna let you do it though. You go. SGC just rang the doorbell, by the way. That's why the dogs barked. Sorry.
Joe, was this your question that was posted? If you're playing backyard football, is it okay to yell "losers take a walk" after a touchdown?
Yeah, so that was my question, because I was watching this past weekend Black Sheep with Chris Farley.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And they just walk off, though?
Well, that's the one thing. Like, Scott Caleri, new kid, right? Rocket arm.
Yep.
Scores a touchdown.
Lived with his grandmother, I believe, right?
He did. And Chris Farley did not make it to their private training session.
I remember.
Because he was up in Wenatchee, up in the mountains.
Down a hill.
Yeah. But, dude, number one, do kids even go outside and play anymore? No. And number two, do you think it would be tough for someone to hear "loser takes the walk"? Because I side note on this real quick too. Was at McDonald's with the little guy, had a little Father Sunday, and we went into the play place, and I had a moment. A couple of kids come in. I would say one looked like the lead singer of Sum 41. Again, we're in Arizona, wearing heavy jeans and
Before
sweatshirt.
his engagement to Arvel Levine or after?
Oh, before had the blonde hair with it
Gotcha.
spiked out all there,
Yep.
and the kid is like maybe
Waste
13,
my time. Great
maybe
song.
13, using the MF. And so the
Really?
first time I was like, all right, maybe he's trying to show off for his buddies. So he says it a second time, and I can't control myself. I just hit him with the yo,
Yeah.
and he was
How
like,
old's your little guy?
5.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
he was with another guy in there. I go, dude, there's kids in here. And he was like, oh, my bad. So then I
Okay,
think
all
I
right.
think this is going to end my time at McDonald's. But then another teenage kid with an electric bike walks in, and the poor lady's like, hey, you can't have a bike inside. And he was like, the other manager let me. And like I'm hearing this go on, and dude, I was like having that moment. So I stood up, and I'm not a small person. I'm wide and I'm 6 foot. So I go, hey, everything good? We good in here? And you would just the shock on real skinny people that have Jinko jeans and a hoodie on. I mean, through the roof. Like, oh, we're good. Yeah, I'm gonna take it outside.
They
And I
were
just
probably
thought,
trying to figure out what class they knew you from. Like, who's this big guy? Is he like one of our? Is he go to school with us
No,
or?
I saw him on my milk carton at breakfast.
Yeah,
he's wearing Crocs with socks and gym shorts, and
God.
he's getting loud. Like,
he's the guy they warned us about. He doesn't even have kids. He's just in the ball pit.
I'm just here for the toys. I'm trying to collect my Elio toys.
Oh God! I will tell you. Do you guys have? I'm assuming Chick-fil-A is out there, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
in Boston.
Yep,
You have Chick-fil-A out west?
we do.
Okay, Dan, you've got it.
We do.
Dude, me and my wife, new life hack with Theo. He's almost 2, so he's walking pretty good now. He'll go, dude, it's all plexiglass wall too, so you can see. We go in there, we order our food, we sit down, we just let him loose in there. It's great.
They are
Make sure you
fantastic.
get the app. Get the app. It is worth it. It is worth it.
Is it Chick-fil-A app?
Yes.
I want to buy, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to buy a franchise. They're building another one. I was like, we need to buy one of these franchises.
So it's a
Forget
lottery. We looked into it.
Yeah, I saw. That's because they know how valuable it is. Yeah, you got to be greasing palms for that, buddy.
Dude, and they, which was crazy, is they'll pay for the building, but it's a 50-50 share.
Yep. As opposed
So-
to like 15 or 20% franchise fee. They know what they got.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
getting a second one in Hendersonville. I don't want to brag about it.
Jeez.
All right. Danny, was that your last topic before I trip?
That I'll finish on Chick-fil-A, and we can see your PC.
Okay, I'm only doing one. I'm trying to span these things out a little bit. I am notoriously huge fan of flawless baseball. If it's game used, on card, and a good picture of Griffey. First year flawless, I was pretty excited to see that. Got that on eBay. I won this from Probstein. So it's 2016 flawless, the dual ruby, numbered 5 of 10. On
Nice.
card, game used, Savage patch. $1,600. That card used to be way over $2,000 always. And from Probstein, I was pretty excited. I need to know though at some point if I had sent this to the vault, like sent it to PSA Vault, and then from the vault to me, would I not have paid sales tax? That's a big question for me because obviously I get hit with the 9% sales tax. If I send it to the vault and then just request it back to me, do I ever pay sales tax? I'd like somebody from eBay to tell me this.
I think you pay it when you take it out.
See, I've heard both from different people. I don't
Because
know.
was
You also
using a
lied to me
different
about
vault.
Greenie being on the show today, so I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
You can't. I should have told you that.
Can you
No,
pull,
but
your card, pull that card back up real quick? So it went through authentication, right?
Oh yeah, it came in the reveal box. You open it up. Yep.
So on the back there, what does it say on the sticker?
It says to view your card's authenticity guarantee details, simply scan the QR code below. Void if damaged. Authenticity guaranteed.
Okay. Question for you about that.
Please.
So we had we sold a Pearl First Bowman auto, and it was the guy from the Reds, Sam Sinelli.
Oh, Mike.
Nick
Saminelli or Sinelli. Okay.
Mike Sinai.
No, not that. But
Rico
so,
Vitelli.
so we sell it.
Okay.
Goes through authentication. Boom. Gets to the buyer. They look at it and they see a little, like, there's no damage on it was like a holographic, like that went underneath the coat. Like just a little, it's not a dimple, nothing like that. So, and again, this card was authenticated, right? So then eBay, they send it back. It goes back to authentication, and then we get the card back. But I'm so confused how those returns can happen, because they won based off of it being damaged, but when it was sent to authentication and went through authentication, it was good.
So, dude, I had this happen. I bought a triple auto. This was only 2 or 3 months ago. It was Peyton Favre Merino, old school triple thread. So the sticker auto with the triple patches. I bought it, goes to eBay authentication. I got an email from them though saying, hey, there was undisclosed location. The back was a bit damaged. But the way they described it to me is you can decline it right now. We'll automatically refund it. It goes back, no problem. You can accept it and then send it back. Or they said if you'd like to reach out to negotiate with the buyer or with the seller, you could do that as well, which I did. I was like, hey, they said there's damage. Here's the thing from them. You can see it. I think it was, man, I want to say that was like 1,000-ish. Let's call it $1,000, round number. I was like, hey, you give me like $100 off. We can just save this whole song and dance. He did that. The only thing there is the eBay representative said, okay, if you're going to do that though, case closed. Like if he's giving you $100 off, we are now going to ship it to you because you both have to click accept. That's it though. If you negotiate privately like that and he does the refund, there's no return after that. Otherwise, though, they were like, yeah, you can get it and return it. You can do whatever you want, even though we authenticate it. We don't care.
Whoa. Okay. So
which
that's
was actually
probably what
pretty
happened.
helpful. And I got somebody on the phone within like minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, good to know. If anyone's going through that, good to know.
The other one. There you go. I don't care. I don't have any. This is a cool card. 2003. It's worth $100, maybe. 3 of my all-time favorite athletes. The old multi-sport from Upper Deck legendary leaders, Brady, Paul Pierce, Pedro Martinez. Found that in a garage sale where a guy tried to scam me.
If anyone ever said, or Danny, if anyone ever said the name Lamine Yamal, would you know who that is?
Soccer guy.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure.
17-year-old winger.
Just making sure.
Sure. Rocker.
There was an article on Collecting on SI about it.
Yeah.
About him, yeah.
There you go. This episode brought to you by Beaumont Cheese. Find them on Franklin Street down in New York City. Probably still in business. Those are nails in the box. That's old school. Staples on the side. So there you go.
That's cool. All right, guys. Did we finish the second episode without anybody getting hurt?
Yeah.
I think so. Joe, do your thing. You said you were going to do this.
Which part?
You're going to own something here.
Oh,
for God's
guys,
sakes.
Thanks so much, Mike. Mike,
Casper,
as my co-host, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to Sports Cards Nonsense on YouTube, also on the Instagram pages. Please leave your feedback and comments. We love it, even though it hurts my feelings at some point. But please like and subscribe.
Oh, you know what else? Comment with guest suggestions. We're going to start working some guests in. Who do you want to hear from?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And topic suggestions. We're here for you guys.
Yeah.
That's
Danny's thing. I'm here because I like doing this. You have to keep the audience informed, Daniel.
They care about your schedule.
They do. You have to let them know. Like people want to get to know you and Muhammad there.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali, if you're listening.
Or the Prophet. Whatever they want to know about, we'll tell them about. So
yep,
there you go.
Absolutely. Joe, I think we lost you on that one.
Nope, I'm here.
Joe's still here.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.